Hi, Tina. I'm afraid I put you on mute already and we're just about to start. So here we go. Welcome. I just need to make sure you can see my screen is in the right place. There's enough of my feet showing. I'll just drop my screen a little bit and then we'll get going. Okay, good. So here we are again. Another week has gone by and we're doing exactly the same thing. We're placing our feet shoulder width underneath our hips and we're feeling into the feet. We're letting the whole foot spread on the ground. We're letting our weight pour down through the body and into the feet. I'm just going to bounce a little bit to feel, make sure we can really feel the foot on the ground. We're going to lift the chest. We're going to lift the crown of the head by tilting the head ever so gently down with the chin, up with the back of the neck, up with the crown of the head, creating our structure of the body, then settling into the feet, softening the hip joints, deeply softening the hip joints. And the hip joints are soft. Put it this way, if the hip joints are held, it keeps the lower back, it keeps the whole of the pelvis in a certain held position. When we soften the hip joints, it allows the tail to naturally sink. So if the pelvis is going to rotate this way, so the tail can drop, the hip joint has to open to allow the top of the pelvis to come up. So you get that rotation in the hip, in the whole of the pelvis. We want that to happen when we relax. We want if you put your hands on your hip joints, you just want to feel there's a very slight movement of the lower back opening, the tail pointing downwards between the feet, and the pubic bone at the front lifting slightly. In order for that to happen, all the muscles through the hip joints have to be loose. And with it, the rest of the body can settle. We're getting to feel what it feels like for the hips to be seated, the lower back to be open, the chest to be soft, shoulders dropping, connecting. And this is what we want to try and find in each posture, the softening of the hip joints. Because the upper body and the lower body meet together in the middle, and all this area has to allow the upper body in. Rather than keeping it up, we want to allow the upper body in. So the whole body connects. And in this posture, soften the hips and turn from side to side. Soften the hip joint, turn. Soften the hip joint, sinking into the foot. Soften the hip joint, sinking into the foot. See if you can put your focus of awareness really deep into your leg, into your hip joint, and let the whole leg release. The knees bending slightly as you move, but it's not moving in space. The knee is bending forwards towards the toes. The hip joint is folding, and you feel really settled and stable in that leg. So all the time you're moving into the leg, all the time you're pouring your weight into the leg, you're feeling stable. You have to soften the foot, soften the ankle, soften the calf, soften the thigh, and soften the hip joint. Then everything can land like a stack of tiles. Finally, the upper body, and the whole body feels concertinaed, slightly sinking into the leg. If you move onto a leg and the leg isn't changing, there'll be tension in the leg, which stops you sinking and holds you up. So as we move, as more weight pours in, we want to compensate for the weight by softening the ankle. As the weight hits the ankle, soften the ankle. As the weight hits the knee, soften the knee. As the weight hits the hips, weight of the body increases coming onto this leg, soften to accommodate the change in weight. And what you'll find is you stay upright, you sink, and you become very stable. And the stability comes from the changes we make. What I don't want to do is move from the upper body, because I lose my alignment. I want to move from the base. The base does the movement. Sink the base, let the upper body follow. Sink the base. Now, feeling how to do that, feeling the sensations you need to find to get the base to soften, what we're looking for is the muscles to soften. The muscles in the leg, or the foot, the ankle, the calf, the knee, and the hip soften. So the leg is receiving the weight. If I'm the leg and I'm down here on the ground receiving the weight of my body, when the weight of the body comes onto that leg says, I need to change. I need to become like the skin of a beach ball to receive the weight of this body coming onto me. If it doesn't, then it just stays like a block of wood and the weight comes on and it's unstable. But if the leg can melt, the muscles can melt and receive the weight of the body, then the weight of the body is sprung on the ground and very buoyant and very relaxed and able to change and fluid. And this is a really important quality. Here's my dog. My dog understands this quality. He's very buoyant and flexible and changes all the time when he moves. Cats understand it really well. When you go to stroke them, their whole body responds. We respond from our hands and our thinking mind, and what we want to do is respond from the whole body. So this exercise shows us how to release and move on to the leg. Anytime in the form we're doing that, for example, the new move we've just done last week, we move from push and we sit back onto the back leg. We leave the fingertips where they were and we sit back onto the back leg. Let's do this move together. I'll do it from the side so you can see. In the form, we'd be facing 3 o'clock. I'm going to do it this way around so you can see what I'm doing. Bow stance. Feet shoulder width. Right foot straight ahead. Back foot out to the corner. The hips square. The shoulders square, the attention straight ahead, the center line of the body straight ahead. So if I'm facing you, the center line of the body, the center line of the hips, the shoulders, and the head straight ahead. Upright, the hips are seated, and the legs receive the weight of the body. The legs have to do some work. Okay, the weight of the body is maybe half your body weight or more, and it has to be received by your legs, not held up by your legs. Big difference. And when you can feel how to let go of the muscles so your legs receive your body weight and remain fluid and buoyant and change, your Tai Chi will really change. Because a big part of the beginning aspect of Tai Chi, getting these legs used to the weight of the body and not fighting the weight of the body, receiving the weight of the body. And we do that by focusing on the muscles in the legs, slowing down and feeling them softening. You will definitely feel a pressure in the legs, and you'll definitely feel force in the legs, and it will feel like your legs are tight, but actually there's a very distinct difference between legs that are tightening and lifting you off the ground and leg muscles that are receiving the weight of the body. They both feel quite full, and you have to determine the difference between the two. I can't do that for you, so you have to feel your muscles changing and softening while the weight of your body settles. Then we're going to move backwards. All the time I'm moving backwards, it's as if my back foot is like the plug in a bathtub of water, and you're taking that plug away from under the foot, and all the water is going down, 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 until my head top is over the foot. I start 50-50. I don't just move backwards, because if I do, my back leg isn't changing. As I sit back, I'm softening the leg, and I'm imagining the leg drawing me downwards, enabling me to become more stable and relaxed and upright over the leg. And I'm looking for the point at which that finishes. So I sit back, I'm drawing down, and keep drawing down until I'm right over the foot, and there's no more letting go to do. I feel stable, I feel balanced, I feel upright, I'm still facing the direction, same direction. My tail is relaxed to the foot, my hip joints are soft, and the weight of the body is received in the back leg. There's no twitching in the ankle. Common is that this tendon in the ankle, this tendon here, if you just see my foot, this tendon here starts to twitch on and off, okay? If you don't relax your back leg in time, you'll find that your tendon twitches on and off. If your weight isn't pouring into the foot, if it's missing the foot, like that plug hole is a little bit left or right or further back, like if all my weight's going behind me or my weight's going to the side, the tendon will tighten, will flick on and tighten. And we want to make sure this doesn't happen in the movement. So in the movement, sitting back, really slowly, drop by drop, so that you're stabilizing and you're relaxing all the time you move back. Settle. I'm just going to do that a few times. From 50-50, trickle the weight backwards. Hands get left behind. From the push position, remember, in the push position, the hands are one fist apart. The fingers are at the height of the throat, and the hands are equally opposite the center line. One span to each elbow. So the hands are in front of the body. This is common. This is a common position that people do with the elbows very closely. We want the elbows here in front of the body, not too far in. That's the push position. And we're leaving the fingertips exactly where they were. So if I put my fingers on the wall and I sit back, the pressure of the fingertips on the wall stays exactly the same. And look, when I sit back, and by the time my head top arrives over the foot, the arms are straight but not locked. The arms are straight but not locked. They're in the same position when I start the form and lift the hands up to here. Long in the arm, but not held tight. The fingertips don't go forwards, they stay exactly where they are, and the hand levels off. All the weight over the back foot. Only then do I turn. Only then do I soften the hip and turn. And as I turn, I'm bringing my right toes to face 12 o'clock. I'm stable over the back foot. I stay stable as I turn. I stay stable as I turn. And I bring the back toes into 12 o'clock. Try that a few times. Sit back. All the weight over the back foot. There's no weight in the front leg and the right leg. Turn by folding the hip joint. And watch your arms move with your body. You don't have to move your arms because they don't move independently from your body. When you turn your body, it's as if your arms and your body are all part and connected. When you turn your hips, your hands move. And it's as if they're just gliding. So facing the front, push position, sit back. Find the alignment over the back foot. Find the release over the back foot. Find the softening of the body. Structure, yet relaxed. And then turn. Until the back foot faces the 12 o'clock position. So we start from 3 o'clock. We sit back. And we're going to turn until the back foot and the arms face 12 o'clock. Then I'm going to move the weight back to the right foot, also by softening the leg and turning back the other direction. Now I'm facing 1:30. And I'm holding the ball. I'll do it facing you. So you can see the move. Sit back. Turn. $12 o'clock. Turn back, sinking into the right leg. And as you sink in, holding the ball. All the fingers touch the thumb, top hand at the height of the chest, sternum, bottom hand underneath. It's the same ball we were holding earlier in the form, but now we've just got hook in the left hand. Sit back, turn back, hold the ball. For the next bit, forget the arms. My right foot's facing 12 o'clock and all my weight is in the right foot. I'm going to turn towards 9 o'clock. We've done this step before, so as I turn, watch my left foot. I pivot on the ball of the left foot. I draw the left foot in and I take a step with the heel. I move into the center, turn the hips, and there's my left foot forward facing 9 o'clock. Sit back. I'm doing it this way, by the way, so you can see more clearly. Sit back, sinking, finding the alignment, no weight in your right foot. Turn, the hands move with the turning hips. The left toes come in, 12 o'clock. Turn, sinking into the right to face 1:30, holding a ball. Turn. Forget the arms at this point. Let the left foot pivot on the ball of the left foot. There's no weight in the left foot. All my weight is in the right because I'm going to step with the left to pivot, draw the toes in, step with the heel, move in. As you reach 50-50, I'm facing the corner, 10:30. I turn the hips, back toes come in, and I sink. Familiar. All this stepping is familiar, what we've done before. So I'm going to suggest we do that bit without the arms. We'll do the arms in a minute. I'm going to do it facing 3 o'clock because that's the direction of the form. Sit back. Turn. Pass the weight to the right foot, turn the other way and hold the ball. Forget the arms, turn back, pivot on the ball of the left, draw in the left. Now I'm facing 10:30. Take a step with the heel of the right, of the left, towards 9 o'clock. Move into the center point between the feet, turn the hips and sink. Have a go a few times. I want to have a look at what you're doing. And I want to ask you if you've got any questions with that, or there's anything in that you'd like me to go over or to reiterate. I just want to have a look at what you're doing. Then we'll add the arms, and then we'll do the whole of the form to that. Just 3 or 4 times so I can see everybody. I got a sense of what everybody's doing, and if there are any common themes going on, we can adjust. Yeah, good. Okay, if anyone's got any questions, now's a good time to ask. Okay. The shape of the ball is quite important. When you hold the ball here, right, it's nice and round. It's not too, if I go sideways on, it's not close to the body. It's nice and round. So there's a feeling in the arms that all the joints are open. Rather, you don't want a bendy elbow. Like, see this here, my arm's quite pointy at the elbow. You want that joint to be nice and round. And the same with the lower hand, nice round arm rather than it's very easy to do this one and have like a pointy elbow here and a pointy elbow here. No, we want to soften the arm and let them be long and round. The hands are still on the center line, but they're a little bit further from the body than most people have got. Okay, if your arms are too close to the body, you'll end up with those pointy elbows. So we bring the arm away from the body, a little bit further away, just round out the elbows. That's important because, right, the position of the hands is important because if you put your hands in that round position in front of you, okay, if you feel your shoulders when your hands are there, it gives you space to soften and change the shoulders. If you have a look at my shoulders in this position, if I put my hands in that position, here I can soften the shoulders and let the elbows drop by softening the shoulders, let the shoulders melt and sink and connect. Both shoulders drop. Remember we did that, this exercise a couple of weeks ago where we opened the archery bow. We drop the shoulders. We drop the shoulders. If the hands are too close to the body, we're holding them too much, and it doesn't give an ideal position from which to soften the shoulders. Whereas this one, we can let the weight of the arms go. We can let the shoulders relax more. Okay, so let's put the arms in place. Before we do, I'll just go through what the arms do. Once you've made the hook, it doesn't do anything. It stays exactly where it is, in front of the body. We move the body away from the hook. The hook stays in place, and we move the body away from the hook. So it's as if the hook is on top of my bottle, it doesn't move off the top of the bottle. It stays exactly where it is. And I move my body away from it. Just like when we do the push, and I leave the fingertips where they are, and as I sit back, my arms elongate. Here, when I've got the hook in this position with a nice round arm, when I move away from it, my arm elongates. I'll do it facing this way and straightens. And it ends up with the shoulder and the back of the wrist at the same height, and the elbow just a couple of inches below, so there's a slight curve in the arm. And you finish off with the hook facing 12 o'clock and the body facing 9 o'clock. So if we just adopt the posture to start with, I'm going to do it facing you. Left foot forward. Weight 50-50. Rear foot out to the corner. Settled in the legs. Upright in the body. Left hand just resting on something with the fingertips at the height of the throat. As if I'm doing a push, but just with the left hand. Shoulder relaxed, body settled, head top up. Right hand out to 12 o'clock. The hand is exactly going to the side. Just want to see your postures. Just want to see your postures. Good, 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 good. The hips are seated, so the hips and shoulders in the same direction as the front foot. Okay, common mistake. Have a look at this common mistake. I'll do it close up so you can see. Common mistake is that the hips aren't soft. The front hip needs to be soft. That turns the hips to face the direction. Okay, the front hip can often be held too much. When the front hip seats, it allows the hips to turn and face the direction of forwards. So in some people's postures, I can see that your hands are in the right position, but your hips are going slightly to the corner. Your center line is going slightly to the corner. So to soften the front hip and bring that center line forwards and square. Good, 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 and relax. Good, let's do the whole of that move together and then we'll go from the beginning of the form and add that on the end. Before we do, we'll have to have a look at what the left hand does. From holding the ball, the left hand lifts straight up and turns over. The left hand underneath the ball rolls up the center line of the body and turns over. That's all it does. It stays on the center line of the body, it lifts up, and it turns over into the push position. When I do it with the move, if you have a look, sit back, settle onto the left foot, long in the arms, 100% weight in the left, turn, pivot on the heel of the right foot goes to 12 o'clock, sit back onto the right, sinking, and hold the ball. All my weight is 100% on the right foot, and I'm holding the ball. Turn. As you turn, you lift the left hand. Now my body is facing 12 o'clock. That's where the hook stays, facing 12 o'clock. You turn until you face 12 o'clock. That's the hook in place. The left hand is in place, facing you now. It's come up the center line of the body and it stays on the center line of the body. You draw the right toes in, the left toes in, you take a step, leave the hook behind, move into the middle. My left hand doesn't change, it moves with me. It's on the center line of the body. I now turn my hips. The left hand is on the center line of the body. I finally sink and the left hand turns over and I'm in the posture. Let's do it 1 or 2 times. Sit back, turn, bring all the weight to the right foot, hold the ball, turn, pivoting on the ball of the left, there's no weight in the left foot, lift the left hand, everything's now facing 12 o'clock. The hips, the shoulders, the hands. Draw the left foot in, step to the 9 o'clock with the heel, no weight in the heel, but step with the heel. Move into the 50-50 away from the hook. Turn the hips. Feet are in the right posture. Finally, sink and the left hand turns over. Facing 9 o'clock. One span from the body to the left elbow. Fingers on the line of the throat. Hand as if it's resting on something. Hook out to 12 o'clock. All the fingers touching the thumb. One more time and then we'll go through the form for that. I'm going to do it facing 3 o'clock, which is the direction we do it in the form. So the right foot is forward. 50-50 weight. Hips, shoulders, gaze towards 3 o'clock. One span from the body to the arms. The arms dropped in at 45 degrees. One fist between the fingertips at the height of the throat. Shoulders relaxed. Give yourself time to settle. Feel. Let the legs receive your body weight and settle. When you're ready, trickle the weight back. Move drop by drop by drop, remaining stable and upright over your left. When you get there, turn. There's no weight in the right foot. Everything now facing 12 o'clock. Move back to 1:30, passing your weight to your right foot, holding the hook and the ball. Turn. As you turn, your left hand lifts, and now you're facing 12 o'clock again. Draw in the left toes, step with the left heel, leave the hook behind, move into the middle, turn to face 9 o'clock, and finally sink, turning the left hand over and sinking into the posture. Single whip. Posture of single whip. Any questions? Any questions with that move? Great. I think we've done it some justice there, because we did it last week, outlined what the postures were. I sent you the crib sheet as well, and now we've gone over it again. So I really want to make sure you're getting a sense of the move and how it works. Yeah, great. Let's go from the beginning of the form. Quietening the body down, softening the tissues of the body, the muscles of the body, letting gravity take care of our weight. Keep a nice, clear structure through the skeleton. And with that, the muscles we don't need to hold us up soften and melt and draw downwards. Brow softens. Muscles around the eyes soften. The jaw, the lips, the throat, the chest, abdomen, groin, the buttocks, the thighs, the calves and the ankles. Finally, the feet soften, receiving the weight of the body. Draw down, bend the knees. Stabilizing on the right. Sinking into the left, turning. Upright and stable over the left. Turn back. Hands open, feet parallel, everything facing 12 o'clock. Give yourself a chance to finally settle down. Breathe in, lift, use the legs, push upwards. And release. And again, give yourself a chance to finally fully settle before you move on. Turn. Left toes come in. Sit back to the left. When you're fully over the left, turn, hold the ball. Same shape as earlier on. There's no weight in the right foot, just the heels on the ground. Walk into the 50-50 posture, sinking in both legs. Nice and stable, holding the ball. Move on to the front foot. As I move on the right, the heel of the left comes up. There's no weight in the left foot. Turn to the corner. Step. Gliding in, 50-50. Turn. Drop the right hand as you finally sink into the posture. Moving forward onto the left. Turn as you sink. Facing the corner, lifting the right hand. Step. Moving in, the right hand lifts. Height of the throat. Sink, facing 3 o'clock. We're going to stay in this posture, facing 3 o'clock, for the next few moves, so the feet don't change. We move on to the front foot, turning to the corner. We stay on the front foot and turn back. We move to the back foot, the left foot. 100%. Turn open, lift the left hand. Turn back, fold at the elbow of the left. Move forward, sinking into both legs. Stable, upright, press. Sink onto the front foot, press. Sit back, 100% weight into the back leg. Move forward, sinking into both legs, push. Sink onto the front leg, push. New move, sit back, single whip. 100% on the left foot, turn. Facing 12 o'clock. Turn back, sinking into the right, holding the ball. Turn to 12 o'clock, lifting up the left hand. Keep the hook where it is, bring in the left toe, step with the left heel to 9. Leave the hook behind, facing the corner as you reach 50-50. Turn and sink. Single whip. Take your time to check through your posture. Are your hips straight ahead? Well, first of all, have you got a nice bow stance in your feet? Are your hips straight ahead? Is your body upright? Do you have the structure in your body? Is your body sunk and relaxed? Are your arms in the right position? Take a break. When you practice your form, go really slowly, really take your time, and check for yourself the beginning and the end of each posture is accurate. Okay, accurate means as much as you can remember, but first of all and priority is the body is in the right position. The body is upright, the body is organized, and secondly, you find that releasing relaxation within it. Okay, so we want the structure of the body to be really clear. We want all the bits of the body to arrive at the same time. Nice smooth movements, and then settle into the posture. Take your time to adjust yourself as you move so that you don't go into a posture, find it's wrong, and then just carry on. Take your time to stop and reorganize yourself. Put yourself into as accurate posture as you can in the middle of the form. Then move on. So you're starting each move as accurately as from a really good point, and you're trying to finish each move accurately. What you don't want to do is, you've got the hands in the wrong position, or the body feels tight, or the body's not upright. You can correct all these things and then move on. Okay, so every time you start a move, you get an optimum chance from starting in a really good place and finishing in a really good place. And then you'll get to know in your mind, you'll get to know exactly what these postures feel like. So you won't have to think about where the body goes anymore, because the feeling of the posture will be part of your body memory. Okay. Yeah, Louise, you got a question?
Can you clarify, when you're in this position?
Yeah.
From there, my weight's 50-50. Do I fold at the right hip, keeping my weight 50-50, or does my weight shift onto my front foot, or am I staying at 50-50 at that point when I do the...
Okay. Yeah, okay, I got the question. I'm thinking of the answer, Louise, because I give a different answer to different people according to their level of practice. Okay. So ideally, I'll give you the most, and then for the intermediate, if I was teaching this in the next class, the intermediate, I'd give a completely different answer to what I give to you, right? But that being said, the question then is, what should you be doing? Because you've got to be clear on what you do. So what the simple way of doing this move is that what's going to happen is you're going to settle onto your front leg. You're going to sink onto your front leg and get stable on your front leg. That's the most important thing. With it, there's a slight turning to the left. Now, for beginners, the best way of getting stable, right, is to bring your weight onto the leg, because the weight of the body helps you get stable. So what I say for complete beginners is that you move onto the front foot and turn to the corner. So you can really feel your body weight much more in the front leg. Okay? But there are other ways of getting stable. There are more intermediate ways of getting stable. So rather than just moving your weight onto the leg and getting stable, you can sink your muscles and soften your hip and spiral down into the plug hole of the bath and draw downwards and settle and become more buoyant on your foot. That way, you hardly need to be moving onto the leg. You can do that right in the middle, but by sinking into the front leg. So my center line stays much more central, even though the changes in the front leg draw me this way. So the first one is I move my center line over the leg and turn. More advanced is you stay in the center and sink down and turn. But for that to happen, all the muscles in the leg have to change. And they have to change in sequence like a concertina so that I feel pressed onto the ground a little bit. More than that, in that movement, there's an expansion from the back leg and force comes through the body in a wave. I'm going to leave that completely to the intermediate class, but that's what's happening in the movement. It's an issue which is a throw to the corner, and the power from that throw comes from the back leg being compressed and being decompressed or springy, and that pushes your body through to the corner. But we're not even going to go there at the moment. All we're going to do is make sure that when the time is right to learn that, the front leg's doing the right thing, which ideally is softening and receiving the weight of the body. And if there's a bit of movement onto the leg, that's fine. But know that at some point in the future, we're not going to have any forward movement at all. We're going to stay in the center and simply turn. Which Taiji is interesting because you learn it in layers, and you learn one thing, then when you can do it, you refine it. When you can do that, you refine it. When you can do that, you refine it. And it's a bit like you can't learn the complexity of it in one go. Right? As a beginner, when a beginner's not upright, when a beginner's got muscles they don't understand how to change and soften, you can't do the more advanced stuff. So we don't even bother teaching it. And for some people in the class, they can do that stuff more easily, and they need to move at a different pace than other people. So it's hard to teach Taiji in a class because everybody's completely different and at a different place. But I like to teach in a way that gives you a chance, because you asked the question, it gives you a chance to see the different possibilities. So I hope that's useful and not confusing. I know it takes me a few minutes to explain it, but I hope it's useful. Yeah. What you need to know for yourself is the one thing you need to do next, right? So in that position, what's the clear thing that I need to do next? I need to bring my connection onto the front foot. From there, I need to bring my connection onto the front foot. I can either do that by moving my body weight forwards and turning, or just sinking through the body and turning. You can choose one of those methods. Because for your practice, you need to know exactly what to do. I'm going to explain that as well, because we want to bring the body and the mind together. So your intention to do a move, your intention to make a move happen, your body must respond to that intention. If you haven't got a clue what you're doing next, or it's too confusing, or it's not clear for you what you're doing next, then your intention is going to be unclear. If the intention's really clear, fingers in the right place, body's in the right position, quality of the body is right. If the intention is really clear, you can draw the body into that position, and then the mind and the body will respond. If the intention's really fuzzy, like sit back and turn, yeah, okay. It's not clear enough to get accuracy into the body and the mind to be really talking together. So you need really clear instructions to your body, so your body gets a chance to do something different and feel what your mind's asking it to do. And then you're really working with this quality of intention and a quality of listening, which is the awareness. So we're developing our intention and our awareness at the same time in Tai Chi. Really important for the practice. It's not just a wishy-washy thing of sit back and turn or be relaxed. We want to know a much clearer message about what relaxation is, so we know which muscles to soften. We get to know the feeling of which muscles to soften, and we get to see the response of the body when we ask it to soften. Okay, so you have to indulge me just explaining these things. I think the theory is really important of what we're practicing. Let me see what time we've got. We've got 7 minutes. I'm going to suggest we go through the form again. If anyone's got any other questions, hold them off till the end, and you can ask. I'll leave a couple of minutes at the end for any questions. Okay, we'll go through the form. The heels are touching, tongue's on the roof of the mouth, touching the back at the tip of the tongue. Crown of the head extended, chest lifted, fully release it. Settle down, body settles down. The brow softens. The jaw softens, the throat softens. Chest softens, allows the shoulders to drop. The abdomen softens. The hips and the lower back. The thighs, the calves, the ankles and the feet. Completely give up any holding. If a strong wind would blow, the body would sway. Not held tight. Sink. Settle. Use the legs, lift. Settle. Give yourself time for everything to finish. Check your posture. Make any adjustments. Make sure your crown is still up, your body's still lifted, and the muscles are softening around the frame. Turn. Sit back. And really make sure you're fully over the back foot. And then sink and turn. Walk forwards, sinking into both legs. Sink towards the front foot. And walk onto the front foot, turning. Step. Glide in. Turn and sink. Just check your posture. Hips, body, crown of the head, settled. Ward off left. Sink to the front foot. Turn. Step. Square to 3 o'clock and settle. Check your posture. Upright, crown of the head, fully released into the legs. Square to 3 o'clock. Right hand in front of the throat, left fingers straight line from the elbow to the fingertip, one span from the body, fingers looking into the right hand. Moving on. Right foot, sit back. Left foot, fully upright over the left. Turn open. Turn back. Sink in. Left on top of right. 50-50 posture. Sunk, upright and released. Sink onto the front foot. Wave to the hands. Sit back. Move into the 50-50. Sink onto the front foot and push. Sit back. Fully over the left turn. Onto the right foot, hold the ball, facing the corner. Turn, facing 12 o'clock, lifting the left hand. Drawing the toes, step to 9 with the right heel. Sit away from the hook, the left hand in front of the center of the body. When you reach the 50-50, you're facing 10:30. Turn the hips and the right toes come in. Sink and drop the left hand over. Single web. The hook is dropped over the wrist. Any questions? Oh, hi, Joe. Inma.
Hi, I just want to say it's really useful. It was really, really useful. And I have to go now to my other training. But thank you so much, Luke.
You're welcome. Great. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, hi, Joe. Only just noticed you joined the club group. Maybe you're on a different screen because I got 9 people on the screen. I don't know if you've been there, the whole class. Great. Any other questions before we conclude? Good. If that move is coming together for you and you're feeling good about that move, we'll do a new one next week. Keep adding on week by week by week. We'll add on. I wanted to revise that move because at first it looks quite complicated, but breaking everything down makes things, unpacks it and makes it a lot easier and more simple to follow. So I wanted to do that move again this week, just to give you a chance and for me to see what you were doing as well. Great, but it looks like you're a lot more confident with it this week than last week, so that's great. Good. Good. Let me see what. Yeah, we're about 7 o'clock, so yeah, enjoy your practice. Thank you for coming. Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.